And so they traded and bartered for everything through the Depression, but she never filed bankruptcy. And so we have big shoes to fill, you know, to scratch the gravel that hard, to have the company survive and the family name survive.
From the first time I heard Cass Gebbers say those 3 words, scratch the gravel, I couldn't stop thinking about what he said, but more importantly, what it meant. If you've been following along, you know that Gebbers is the president of Gebbers Farms, which is going on 7 generations of farming this vast land in central Washington.
This anchors you here. Right here is what decides it all.
And we got to know Cass's mom, who's still alive.
I'm Reba Gebbers, and I'm 87 years old. My folks came out to Washington, and my dad got a job at Jim Wade Orchards in Okanagan, and so we stayed with Grandma and Grandpa for 4 months.
Rooted in respect, admiration, and appreciation of his ancestors, I didn't just hear Cass talk about scratching the gravel. I watched him do it.
I mean, it's never rosy. This fruit industry is a tough row to hoe. I mean, it's feast or famine. I mean, the cow deal has vicious cycles. And you know, you just gotta knuckle down, bear down, and survive the bad times. And because this is what we like to do. I mean, we love doing what we do.
The Gambles and the Gebbers have gone from sawmills to steamboats, hospitality and cattle, apples and cherries, and then they got into golf. And they do it together, as a family.
I mean, today, that really wasn't like work, man. This is what we do every day, and I get to go do it with my son and my grandkids and my daughter, granddaughters. I mean, how can life be any better than that?
We also had the opportunity to meet some of Cass's kids, nephews, and nieces who work the cattle and the orchards.
There's 2 months where the whole family's on board. It's a big effort, and you know, it's all hands on deck for this thing.
And in the process of this production, of telling this story, in the years of watching and listening to Cass and the people responsible for the farming and development of this land and destination, we felt compelled to share Cass's perspectives on parenting, family, community, and the future.
The 3 things you live by.
Yeah, honesty, transparency, and humility. I mean, we're kind of you know, if we're violating any of those 3, we're probably a crappy parent, probably a crappy customer to our retail customers we sell to. You know, we're probably violating, you know, our bank relationships. I mean, you got to honor those 3 things. You got to be open and honest and tell guys like it is. Man, don't blow smoke up guys' skirts. Just tell them like it is. Life's too short not to.
Cass Gebbers has been known to set prices and sell fruit while competing on horseback.
And so I'm at Wickenburg at Rancho Rio doing a team roping last year. I got a Walmart card, man. We're like setting prices for this year. I mean, we're selling our crop of apples. But I'm going to this team roping. So I just did Zoom and we're on the call, and one of those guys said, "Hey, that's a really cool background, man. There's horses moving in the background. Where'd you get that?" I said, "It's an app off the internet. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal." And it would be my turn. They'd announce my name. I would just push, you know, the video goes off and the volume. I'd go do my run, come back, turn it back on, get back in the middle of the negotiation. And it worked perfect. Sold the fruit, yeah, we were good.
On parenting, Cass believes it's all about balance. He told me that if you raise a kid who never works, and that kid goes off to college in a fancy sports car and has never been taught a work ethic, that kid invariably comes back to be a burden on the family and the farm. And on the contrary, work a kid too soon and work them too hard, he says that kid is likely to go off to college in their pickup truck and they won't ever come back.
So somewhere in the middle is that gray area, that happy medium where your kids have got to learn to work, they got to know how to work and what this all means, and they got to know their ancestors. They got to know who the guys were that settled this country and who worked hard on their behalf. And when you put all that into the equation, there's a happy medium. My dad made me work every day, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays, he said, "Get in your rig," and I drove my pickup to Bellevue and played in the NCAA Summer League. It's the only sanctioned NCAA league. Went there for 5 years to play all through college, all through high school actually. But I had to come home the next morning and go to work. You know what I mean? So I had a good balance, and that's why I love what I do, and I tried to treat my own kids that way.
So that covers the past and the present, which leads to the future.
I mean, obviously there's been a lot of vision going on here, but what do you see and what do you hope your family is and what you're doing in 50 years?
Yeah, so you got to know who your ancestors are, and you got to teach this next generation that didn't have the good fortune of, like us, my generation, of meeting the old guys that scratch the gravel. They need to know the legacy. They need to know whose shoes they're walking in. They're not mine. My kids aren't walking in my shoes, man. They're walking in their great-grandparents and their grandparents and the guys that saw the valley in Brewster. I mean, we never figured out how to leave here, so we might as well figure out how to live here. And that's what this is all about. And they need to know that history. And once they know and understand that history, and then they can get down the fundamentals, how to execute the business, how to grow fruit, how to run a golf deal, they'll be able to hang around. If they don't, they'll all be in debtor's prison.
You proud of the kids?
Absolutely, man. My granddad said it best, the best thing you ever raised, your grandchildren. My kids, I mean, I couldn't ask for more. They're humble, they're God-fearing and Christians, and they're raising their kids that way. You saw the kids, you rode horseback today for 4 hours with them. How do you turn those kids down? I'm spoiled rotten. I get to be around that every day. And I thank God every day for the blessings I have to have family around.
Someday you said your spirit will go with God and your boots will be by a door somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with my stuff, but we're not taking any of it with us. I just want to pass on the right stuff, the right way to live and the right morals. We're not taking anything else with us. You're laid bare when that happens, and if that's the case, they can hang on to all this stuff and manage it and be humble about it and be part of the community, then they'll be all right.
Again, Cass Gebbers doesn't just talk the talk. He wakes up every day and practices what he preaches. He lives by the balance that was bestowed upon him as a kid. He ends this story, this series, on a long day of work with his support staff. They cut loose by roping calves, listening to music from an old and iconic sound system, chasing their herd and another sunset.
you do all this, you work all that hard, and then this evening, I mean, who had a bigger smile than you?
Man, I love what I do, period. That was a lot of fun. And I get to do it with hey, you met some of the workers today. You can tell, man, they're like part of my family. Sierra, Wilson, Sachi, Bronson, Ace and Karina, they're our family.
And that's it, family. The essence of this docuseries on growing Gamble Sands, and the reason why this destination is special and why it's going to be so successful.